Township Board of Trustee regular work session meeting is called to order at 5:31 p.m. You may remain seated for a moment of reflection or stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Atkins.
Here.
Trustee Simoco. Present.
Trustee Zobel.
Here. Thank you all for attending the work session tonight. The purpose of these work sessions is really just to give the trustees a chance to get together and talk about a lot of the things that we are not allowed to discuss outside of this open meeting situation. Gives us a chance to talk to staff about ideas and things that we might be voting on in the future. And that said, one of the things I would like to bring up right away, and we all have in our new handy dandy notebooks, is the managed natural landscape proposal that we met about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. I've made some changes to it, some edits, additions, based on feedback from the community as well as feedback from staff. And I know both of you have seen that as well. I don't know if there's any other edits, changes, additions we need to make to that before we can move forward with it and actually schedule that first reading.
The only thing that we don't have called out here is, I think, the health strip.
Okay.
And I think we probably need to have some verbiage around that. I understand that's not property of the property owner, but I think that we should make sure that we at least mention that that is not their right to maintain. You know, the township is able to do whatever they need to do, or any utility, whatever needs to be done in that right of way. And there's no expectation, no damages that can be claimed based on any work that we would do there. I think that needs to be called out. We health strip garden, but we do it with no illusion that it's ours. I just think that needs to be pointed out in here.
Just some verbiage then that, plant your little heart out, but don't put too much money into it because it might be destroyed.
We also have to remember the height in the easements.
All those things still carry through, but that is a space that is maintained. Obviously, it has to be kept out of the road and the sidewalk. But there's no expectation that is, it's not going to be damaged by whatever traffic.
Okay.
And the only other thing I noticed, did you notice anything else, Tim, before I jump into mine?
Jump in.
Was I think we should seriously consider being property owners only can apply for this. Because I know as a landlord, if my tenant let it go to the point where it's so high when they vacate, and they may only be there for a year, it costs so much money to get it back down to where you can rent it. So you have to, and plus I know there are a lot of rentals in the Huber area. It might just be easier for them to say, I don't want to mow, and I'm just going to let this grow. So I think it should be the property owner, since the property owner owns it, and ultimately they're the ones that are most responsible for it. If you start to get violations, I know, don't you contact property owners whenever there's an issue?
That's who the
zoning
abatement goes against is the owner.
Yeah, the owner, not the tenant.
So the property owner could do the registration and the tenant could
They would
still
have to
do
be-
everything
Yes,
they
it
want.
would have to
But
be
the
the
registration comes from
Which
the
should go
property
from the
owner.
property owner. Because they don't want to be blindsided by this later and find out, everything's 5 foot tall, it grew into the house and.
All right, so we put that underneath the registration by the property owner.
Now, the tenant can go to the property owner and say they want to do it.
Right,
They can sell
exactly.
it to them first.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So just those two things?
All I
I
have.
think,
Okay.
I think so.
That was easy.
I just got Grandview's though about an hour ago, so we'll see what they had called out. Grandview just went through this process as well, so just if there's anything else that
Right.
popped up,
I actually talked to them 2 years ago.
They
They
have
wanted
one.
to know what we were going to do.
it was apparently pretty contested, like heated on both sides. Like some people really wanted on the board, really were for it, some were
Oh,
not
that's
so
where the
for
health
it.
came from. That's
Yeah,
right. That's what
where
Greg
health
was
strip.
saying. Yeah.
So is it fair to say end of the first week in May, maybe you guys have language to me that says, this is what we're gonna go with. I can get it to Julie, she can put the home rule resolution together, and you could do the first reading as part of the May 20th meeting.
I see why not.
I think that would be fun.
Absolutely.
At that point, depending on public comment and so forth, you have the right to waive the second reading. You have to still schedule that meeting, but you can waive the second reading and pass or fail resolution at that point. Or you could do another second reading
And pass it at
and
that.
pass it.
Let's hope it passes.
So it
in
would be,
May.
End of June, or third week of June, would be kind of
The latest
decision based on.
Grass is getting really high now.
Blue tags on.
Those dandelions are getting high, I'll tell you that.
I know, it doesn't matter if you mow, in 3 days you got the dandelion.
So if you guys can get that to me, first week or two of May, Julie will turn it around in just a couple of days, the actual home rule resolution for the reading.
Yeah, I can,
Well, I
I'll
was saying because
add
of-
these changes to it, and then anything that, and send
Right,
it
I
to
was
Pat.
saying, I don't know when Tim will have the,
Yeah.
May 1st isn't very far away,
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, first week. Before that's great, but thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Kind of on that same thing, talking about things growing, since we now are official with FACT, it sounds like it's time to get a honeysuckle removal event going with them and scheduled.
With my note.
Did I steal you? All right, keep
Go
going.
ahead. No,
Take it
go
from there.
ahead.
Just basically,
No,
we
go
need to
ahead.
schedule it, yeah. So, do you want to get a hold of them? And
Yeah, I can reach out. I was at David's house this weekend.
Okay, yeah, let's just do
I can
that.
reach out to David or just Luann. We also need to, in part of that, need to discuss or see if there's any disagreement at all in the chop and drop method, because where we're picking up honeysuckle removal is in the wooded area, largely. There may be some cleanup across the front
Yeah.
portion, but the back area is gonna be impossible to haul honeysuckle from, which we've done to date so far. It's just
Yeah.
been hauled. So, chop and drop is an acceptable method of removal. You leave it there, it deteriorates, no more honeysuckle, fingers crossed.
Yep.
But that is one of the items, and then the riparian buffer is the other. So we never really fully established the riparian buffer, which keeps the creek from continuing to wash out. We've had to resecure the creek before, that's why there are the concrete walls in there. So that riparian buffer keeps the creek from continuing to wash out. So some sort of a build out for riparian buffer, which probably involves, some no-mow signage, some signage for the public, and just kind of borders
How about rip
generally.
wrapping, like they do in Hoover? What did
What's
you
that?
call it? Rip wrapping? They'll put stones to keep it from eroding.
The hope is when you get that area built out, the deep-rooted, like native plants that would be going into that space
That would
would
stop it
just,
from eroding?
Because native plants, instead of like your turf grasses that are, maybe this deep, really shallow roots, those native plants are 4 and 6 feet deep.
Which is why they don't want them near septic systems
Correct.
and wells.
So those will take the place of just kind of putting rock or putting cement, and will look better, hopefully. More attractive.
I mean, it does look nice. If we find that the natural landscape is not stopping the erosion, you might want to look at what watershed management does to prevent erosion from Hoover and Griggs and all their reservoirs. And they usually have the property owner pay for that, so I don't know if
Well,
there'd be
that's true.
grants that we do or can do.
Well, this is pretty much free to us at this point, with the revenue, with just planning
Yeah.
for those. So,
Hopefully.
start there and, have options if we need to. What do we need to do to move forward with that, Pat? Just get it scheduled and start?
Yeah, I mean, if Tim gets it scheduled and tells me when, we can start propagating out the
And
date.
get some, figure out what
Volunteers and
signage
stuff.
we want to fit around there,
Yeah.
and, okay.
So give me a date, time, we'll put it out there.
Here's one. I had put in one of these zoning tags. Eric, this is why we made you come here tonight, or I asked for you to be here tonight. So these are the zoning code enforcement tags that go on people's houses if there's a code violation. One of our residents, Catherine Ho, she had what I thought was an outstanding suggestion based on a situation when she had first moved into the neighborhood, and she was single, she was working full-time, going to school full-time. She got one of these on her door that said, you know, you need to mow your yard ASAP, which is fine, but when you're already at an anxiety level up to here, that can just take you over the edge. So her very simple suggestion was, we could put on these things, take it a little further with, here are some options for you. And I know it says on there just to call in, or, you know, our township's slogan right now is email pmyers@linden.twp. But if we were to have some extra stuff on here, and Eric, I don't know if this is possible, that would tell them some places they could call. And one of the things I'm thinking of, because with the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, we already have 3 people interested in helping out the neighborhood in doing things like that. Like, if somebody is just in a situation where, hey, I just need to get through the next month, I need some help like this, could we put on here, hey, give these people a call, see if they can help you out? And that way it never has to go to that next step for code enforcement.
And if there's a list of people that we want to recommend, that's fine, we'll
We
attach
can do
it to
that?
it.
Okay.
You need to definitely get authorization from those people. Maybe just say,
Well,
call,
yeah,
call
absolutely.
NAC, and then NAC could, like, if you have a head of NAC, have NAC then reach out to those people. I'm just afraid if everybody sees that, are they gonna get mad
Or
at those
start,
people for some reason?
start messaging before, during, after, like, at all hours, just
Yeah, that
because
could
they're
happen.
contacts, yeah. I mean, I do think having a overarching body that can say, hey, can you sign up to do this? Are you able to do this? Can someone do this? Is just an easier way to make that happen.
And the people who originally could, maybe they can't because they have a family issue, and then
Mhm.
they're getting blown up, so maybe just call NAC.
Yeah.
And then NAC can reach out to
So when they
everybody on
call
that
NAC,
committee.
who are they calling? They're
Well,
calling.
that's a good question, Pat Myers.
Yeah, exactly. P. Myers at Linden
And I wouldn't.
Or,
I would
P.
think
or
Myers.
actually, I think whenever,
Someone taking the lead. whoever
yeah,
the lead-
somebody would take the lead for that part of it. I'm looking at the gentleman right now who probably would be. But yeah, and it would just go to that person, and then it would just be dispersed, like, hey, do we have somebody who can go help this person out?
And I think that, you know, because the issue with listing them on there is, you might get 20
I
calls.
see a lot of
Right.
issues,
No.
but,
As
yeah.
soon as they say, no, we can't do it,
Why
they're
don't we
gonna
get an
get.
email?
And
Just get
they're-
an email address that can be forwarded to a member of NAC, so that they're not being called at 3 and 4 in the morning, or 5 in the morning, or 20 times a day. I mean, I don't care, whatever you guys wanna do, but I'm looking at
Somebody's
it.
gonna
as-
get this once, and then use that person as a contact to do it every time.
They got a whole bunch of them, they couldn't get to it, and they're gonna call us and say, you told me to call these people.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
You need to be very careful, I'm sorry, I have to cut in. If you put somebody's name on there,
Yeah.
you are endorsing them. That means
Right.
township says, these are on the up and up. You do not want this,
I
this
would
is gonna
agree.
be a legal nightmare.
Well, we're talking about the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, which is under the township and it's resident driven.
You're off, do we not still offer a lawnmower?
Yes, we did.
We do.
I mean, how much more, I love my neighbors, I do, but I can really see this. You put NAC on it, NAC comes out, they hit the tree that that person was in love with, and you've got an issue. NAC doesn't come out, for whatever reason, now you got an issue.
So who would
So
sue?
the
Can
problem
they
is,
sue for that?
here's the problem I have with it, I'm just being
Okay,
honest.
yeah.
And I don't know the person you're talking about, you know, but we don't leave a tag saying, call us ASAP and walk away. We're knocking on the door, we're tying.
Oh, I know, yeah,
And so I
absolutely.
don't want it to be thought of as it's just tag, go,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wait a week, tag, go. We're knocking on these doors, we're trying to talk to people, and what we're saying to them is, how can we help you? What can we do to help you get this taken care of? We're not saying you got till this date to cut this grass around. That's not what's going on. So if anybody's saying that to you, I need you to understand, that's not what's going on.
No, they're not, and we understand that. That's
So-
been discussed
so
to death.
if-
We get that, I think.
If
but-
we, if what you're talking about, I thought, a little bit different, is free services. People will come help.
Or even that too, it could be
That's not
all
an
sorts of
endorsement, other
different
than that,
things, yeah.
If they break something, people
Yeah.
will come to us and say, you told me to call Dunkin' Donuts to cut my grass, and he just did this, so, you know, I get it both sides. We do have a mower, and the people, not her, but the people we challenged with don't want that mower. You know what I mean? Because they want to fight with us about that.
Sure,
So we
absolutely.
don't have that, but we do have the mower, it's got how it started, it's got all the safety instructions, everything legal on it, so we're not in any trouble or anything, it's all tagged on there, so forth. So we do still have that. We can put that on there, call us for a loaner mower, you know.
Maybe that's all we need in there, something just more personable, because again, I believe that y'all are doing absolutely everything in your power, but it's still, it scares some people. It's like getting a tax notice from the IRS and they just freak out about it, so, you know.
Harsh comparison. Of what
It is, I'm just telling you, I know how some people are reacting to it, so, all right.
I know that we have probably a billion of these already, but my only suggestion on this would be, instead of the text for failure to respond may result in citation, we maybe clarify that this is not a citation in a more, I don't know,
You could do a
upfront way.
sticker, so we don't have to get rid of these, you could just do a sticker and put them on all these.
It's
We don't
here,
wear-
but by the time I'm on this last line with the text that I can't see very well, I'm already,
Fired up.
yeah, I'm already ticked off. So like that would be my only recommendation as we think about how we might be able to adjust the approach. Not that there's a problem with the approach necessarily, but like, just say, hey, this isn't a citation, this is a notification. Make some improvements, or if you have questions, call us, which is obviously down here in big bold letters. That would be my only thing that I would throw out there. That.
Yeah, and I like that because it is more just the intention of letting people know it's a blue hanger, but you're not in trouble.
Right.
That's the thing. We're really trying to help you. Here are ways to help you and get it going that way. And then maybe y'all don't get so many phone calls like mad about the thing. So.
Delana, do you have anything?
For not,
You wanna just list on there what you wanna change and then cause we're gonna have to print the new ones.
No, don't.
How many do we have?
We don't have very many left.
Oh, we don't?
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is
We're in a
actually
good
a good
spot.
time.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
We're in a good spot, cause we're
Okay.
local.
Well,
The-
be careful about being too friendly though, because we still have to enforce our code, so.
Absolutely, and we want to, but we also want people to call with the questions, not call with anger. Yeah.
And that's what we're hoping for, is
Yeah.
please call the code enforcement office for clarification
My only,
to correct the above code violations.
the only thing that I would note, probably more apparently, would be the failure to respond within this time frame may result in a citation. This is a first step action, but it being here at the bottom, I think is really the primary issue.
Well, why don't we
It's
do
not-
this? Because you had mentioned, call this a notification, so up here where it says London Township Code Enforcement Notification, and then right under that, you could put failure to respond could
Yeah.
result, so that they're seeing it first instead of last.
Right. I think that would flip the script, also the tag itself, and then just present this as, this is not a citation, this could end up being one, but this is what we noticed, call us if you have questions. It's just minor, but I think that would
I do like that.
make it look
That's
less,
easy.
yeah.
And that's the spirit of what I'm trying to
Right.
get at, absolutely. Yeah, anything that we can do to help them. Okay.
Do you have any comments, Eric?
Not really, but I just, we get 3 of them. I
Right,
understand.
yeah, we know.
I
We really do,
understand.
yeah.
They don't call. And it's, please call, please call, please call, please call. And then, once they get the notice, it says, hey, we're gonna take legal action, it's, well, you never told me anything about that, I wasn't aware. That's
Right.
because you ignored for 3 months the notice.
But if us moving these words around makes everyone happy, let's just move the words around.
The two-way street is frustrating, because I'm telling you, it's not like I just hung a tag and
Oh,
next week I
I'm
scheduled
aware.
to
Oh,
mow
we
it.
know,
I know.
yeah.
Come on.
We're not getting after you on it, we're just trying to figure out, what would make them more responsive.
And
Yeah.
with that,
Out of
we
the
wanna
loop.
work with people.
Yeah,
Hey,
a little
I need
smiley
2
face.
weeks. My mower broke, it's in the shop, I get it back on May 15th. Cool, no problem, we got it. We'll notate it, we'll leave you alone.
Right.
We do that. But it's just ignoring it month after month after month, or notice after notice. High grass season's around the corner, and it's gonna be, every week, we're gonna be going out to the same property until you call us and tell us, hey, what's going on?
Softening the language can't hurt, and it could help, and we're still gonna have something, we could say,
it's still gonna happen.
don't worry about calling us, we love you, we're gonna do this for you, and still would call. There's certain people.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll make those changes, we'll look at making it printed. Is there a color preference? Everybody like blue, blue and blue?
Blue's good, red will upset people, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
Green tag will make them think they're getting evicted, so may as well just leave it at blue.
No, the evictions are red,
Oh, are they red? Okay.
yeah.
What about a yellow
I
notice?
don't know, because it's going on in the plaza right now.
Flowers on it and
So Lily, will you give me your pen?
Yeah, if you could read it, so just right under,
Yep, I know what you're saying.
and then move this up to underneath that.
Thank you. And this isn't something we have to vote on, it's more of a consensus thing, so we can email back and forth if we.
We may as well, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to
Yeah.
print them,
Mhm.
let's just print them and make the change. Can you read it? Okay.
All right, how's that? This, I could save this for trustee comments later, but, this is something that we will hopefully end up voting on at some point. I've been looking pretty heavily into green/natural burials for the cemetery. I've been talking to, a cemetery out in Granville, Maple Grove Cemetery, looking and researching on the Green Burial Council website, and then today, Matt, Pat, and I did a little field trip down to Union Grove Cemetery in Canal Winchester to actually see a natural burial area that is in a cemetery very similar to ours, what would be considered a hybrid cemetery, if we decide to go this route. And getting a lot of information about the do's and don'ts. I talked to somebody out in Granville who kind of did it wrong, then we talked to the person out in Canal Winchester where they did it right. So we're moving in that direction, so I really, more than anything, wanted to kind of give a heads up to you guys that this may be something that's coming to the table for a vote at some point. Matt is, I think, sold on it right now. We've talked about all the steps and stuff that we would have to take.
What does it look
And
like?
I can show you some pictures. It was absolutely, I thought it was beautiful. Pat, you were
So
impressed
I was
with it.
surprised. At this particular one, it's an eye-shaped corner of all the way in the back of the cemetery. And the only reason you know there's bodies buried there is they have rocks or boulders. Some are engraved, some aren't. And they're just throughout that area. And the grass just grows.
It's just.
I mean, it's not 10 feet high or anything. It was,
I don't think I've ever
Yeah, I'm
seen
just
one.
trying to make sure nothing else on there.
The only time I've seen one is that company that was saying that they were doing them and it wasn't, so.
Yeah.
I forget where that was.
But yeah, there's
How
not,
high can this get? Would you be able to find the stone where the person's buried?
in some of these little areas, there's natural growth going around, people are putting trees, it really does go back to nature, that's the whole idea with it. And some people don't even put a stone there, we saw one that was just a buckeye tree that was planted, some people only use GPS coordinates. So people put, it's a bunch of crystals that were laid down all over it. Yeah, so that was a fresh one. You don't go down as far when you do these, you only go down 3.5 feet. The lowering process can be done by equipment, or it can be done by hand. We wouldn't ask our staff to do it by hand. I don't know if you wanna
What are they
look
buried
at
in?
it. They can be buried in a shroud or any box-like container that is biodegradable.
So it's all going to disintegrate into the earth then?
Yes, it's all gonna go back into the earth. It does not affect the water table. There's been tons of research about that through the state of Ohio, ODNR and everything. We talked about not allowing the shrouds only because, one of the things I talked to the gentleman in Granville about, and he was saying that when it's just on a shroud and you're lowering it down, it might just follow on in, and we don't necessarily wanna subject everybody
With it
to
being
that.
3 feet, are there any odors?
Not at all. We walked through there and all said the same thing too.
that's one of the first things I kind of thought about as I was standing there, is there a smell or anything? There's not. Not there anyways. I mean, we talked about the lowering of the body. There's different ways to look at it. You can purchase a machine to do it. But like RAR, who's our monument company, they offer that service as well. There would be an upcharge to be a natural burial. We talked about that as well, which all the other places do as well. If the trustees decide to do this, there's a spot all the way in the back left corner of this, facing this way behind the service department, where that would make most sense for it, because Matt can still get equipment around, those type of things. By having a designated area, you wouldn't mix them with other burials because the heavy machinery can collapse them.
Yeah. I was wondering if they would, you'd have to go back in and backfill.
The difference between ours and what we saw today, because of the way we lay out graves, it would still be in a line. It wouldn't be scattered like the one
Would they
you
be
saw.
smaller plots or the same size?
Same size. They're
Just the
paying-
depth
right.
is the only difference.
Well, actually, they're paying more, because they pay more to be natural burial. So, you have to decide what that is. Legal opinion on this is, ORC says you can do it, home rule says you can do it, townships can do it, just gotta establish your rules and pass a resolution, put this information into your rules, according to Julie.
Could we like try it and see how many people are actually interested?
And that's one of the reasons of putting it in that back corner. There's a few different reasons, but that's another one is if we did it and over the course of a year, 2 years, whatever, it's like, okay, 3 people have done this, it's not really doing anything. We haven't taken up a spot in the middle of a cemetery that we now have to work around. It's back there, we cut it off, we say, okay, now we can start, when we're ready, having traditional plots.
Do they have to be
Here and there.
separated in any other way, like a natural barrier between?
No.
Just,
You could with ORC have, and this is what Granville did, traditional burial, natural burial, traditional burial, like just beside each other, but that's not what we would do.
They're also the ones that said they admittedly didn't do it, right?
Yes, they were getting ready to make some changes and stuff, so, yeah, so.
My biggest concern was a true natural burial, and it was changed, because people did the research, is a hand dug grave, and I was, in my opinion, I was outlandish to ask our guys if hand dig grave. I said, this isn't Sopranos where 5 minutes go by and they got a whole dug, you know, what I mean, it'll take a long time, so.
Absolutely.
She looked into that, and that has kind of come out of a natural burial. Now they still consider natural burial if you dig it.
Right.
With a machine,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, any other questions about that? Like I said, we'll, get up some, if there's no big objections, that gives me, kind of to go ahead to start working on some language and getting that presented. And this wouldn't even be something we would start this year, this would be next year, maybe.
If I can say one more thing, it's worth mentioning, if you Google natural burials, cemeteries Columbus, Ohio, we come on. We do. Because we do, for the Jewish faith, a form of natural burial for them, where they drill holes in the vault so that they can go under the ground. So it's a form of natural burial based on the Jewish religion, not so much a true natural burial we're talking about. So, but when people Google that, we do come up. We're one of the few that come up. So if someone came in and said, you do natural burials, this kind, yes, not this kind, but if we did this, we could say yes.
Has anyone come in and asked?
Taylor said one or two in the time she's been here, asked for a true natural burial. But not a lot, but we also have people who are doing it, so I don't know. Now Granville told you the first year they did it, they had about 7 or 8.
7 or 8 that first year, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I don't know how many, I don't remember, I don't think I asked Union Grove how long they've been doing it. They had, I don't know, a couple dozen back there maybe. It's hard to tell, but.
Now, the other caveat would be whatever piece of land you guys decided was for natural burial, if we got busier than heck and that's what we did, once it's full, it's full. We wouldn't designate another part of it. Once it's full, it's full. It wouldn't be anymore. So.
I have questions. So, I didn't see the pictures. It sounds like it was kind of all over the
You wanna
place.
see
and
pictures?
Trees and stuff, so the way it's currently set up is you have markings. There's a tree here, so we don't do a burial because there's a tree right there. And it's spread out. So we sell property, and then you have the deed, and then we register that. Are we
Right.
still following the
Yeah.
exact same process? And then for markings or tracking purposes, it's still gonna be laid out the same and we know what's what. Because what I'm hearing is they don't even have to have markings, so I just wanna make sure we know.
Yeah, we would still have it plotted out. Yeah, you'd have,
So we have
we
a
know where they.
permanent record to say
Yeah,
here's what's-
yeah, you don't wanna be digging up one body by accident.
Right.
It's gonna be a big
You can
natural.
imagine a square, and we're gonna sell the plots. You can't sell one here and here. If you sell one here, the next person has to buy here. You don't have a choice. And it's in a row, and we're in a rows. And then when those rows are gone, they're gone. So you don't have the machinery going in between and stuff. You know exactly where they're at. It'd be in the SIM system, just like they are today. They'd be marked out by EMH&T through a new map of everything, because we need to update it anyways. The other new plots are moving that part of the garden, moving it.
So you'd just be mowing around it? Not you, but Matt.
Yeah, because you don't, go down into the middle of it, you just move on that natural, yeah.
But again, if you can picture it, we have to put a road in there. We have to do that no matter what.
Yeah,
Natural.
but the road would not go through the natural.
The road will
barrier
split
site.
the natural and the regular, so you have that section of there. That road's gonna have to be built sooner or later, just on the fact that we're going to expand our cemetery regardless of whether we do natural or not. So that road comes in, you go down that road, you're sitting in a car, to the right is the natural barrier, everything else is regular.
Yeah, I just go out there now and I'm like, okay, I got this plot, I'm just kind of, wonder where my plot's really at. I mean, cause I don't have any markers or anything there, I'm just like, I know I'm in this row, this section, measuring apart, I mean, am I a foot from that one, am I 2 feet, where I'm at, it's confusing to me, and to have no markings would be
They are
really
marked.
confusing.
Everyone out there's marked, the one we saw.
With like a
They're marked.
stone or a
Either
tree.
rock.
Yeah, one had
or
just like a little
black
hanging.
thing hanging. They're marked, just not with traditional gravestones.
You don't have to
Everyone
mark
out
it,
there is
but
marked.
it's like everybody was. And that's something that we could also require if we wanted to say,
You need to mark it there.
hey, you gotta at least put a rock down. Yeah, I mean.
Some of the rocks were actually engraved, like I had some people have done it. So, but everyone out there was marked. You could see where they were. It wasn't logical, like we're going to have to do it based on the way we do business here. There's a landowner here along the fence, so he's, worried about the property
It's
value.
just- Yeah, I'm not gonna look at it, but I wonder where are they going at here, you know?
Here.
Name recognition for celebration, yeah.
Right.
He's gone, we got it.
Either of y'all have anything else? Sorry.
I had a comment about code enforcement. It's like you were going through my list there for a minute. But really, just when it comes down to the newsletter, we talked about code enforcement, things that come up. I honestly just think it'd be great if Jeff and Eric got together and said, these are the things that we see that are common or uncommon, or these are some ways to mediate, to make sure you're on top of these. Maybe probably more the uncommon things that people come across. I'd love to just see something short, like 250,
Yeah.
300,
And there's
500.
smiling faces on
Yeah,
there,
of
like, we're
course.
not scary. Don't talk to us.
Yeah, there you go. I just think that would be good for everybody to have, just, here's what we usually get this time of year. Here's what, just those kind of things. Would be great, would be informative, probably helpful for folks.
You get a tag, don't take it personal, give us a
Yeah, right.
call.
Exactly.
Kind of complaints, huh? So we track everything through, the cloud from there.
Yep.
So I just put together a few things. So for 2026 so far, we have total complaints year-to-date is 123. Now,
Does that compare to last
what
year?
are all those complaints?
It's up.
That's only this year, that's for 4 months. So as of today, there's 123 complaints. Of those 123, 79 are 34 are currently active. Of those, only 8 so far are grass complaints. And we're not doing anything with those because we're really not into the season, so to speak. And
Sure.
of those 8 complaints, they're not meeting their 8-inch or over. Maybe some of the animal, but the grass itself isn't. But we can kind of narrow it down. The last hot topic or hot button issue was trailers and stuff in front of the residences. And that's a huge issue. And most of the complaints are that we're singling them out or we haven't identified people. And I want to assure everyone that that's not the case. And for 2026, there are a total of 25, so far this year, 25 for trailers.
Wow.
25 different residents, so it's a huge issue. And then of those, 10 are currently active. We've closed 15 of them. And how did we close 15 of them? They came into compliance. they put it behind a fence, they put it beside the house, whatever the case may be. So they've, worked for all those, so, and they come in and we've contacted them. I think that, I thought we were gonna kind of go a different direction with the zoning and the code, so, I didn't know what we were gonna talk about, so that's why I kind of just put that together, because I seem to be the hot topic button. What about?
Last meeting, probably.
What about setting up something that we'll make a decision what we're gonna do? I pulled Franklin County's, zoning regulations. In 2013, we adopted Franklin County zoning resolution. Franklin County changes it. However, regarding trailers, it's the exact same as it was. So they're enforcing the exact same thing we are. So we can change that, but it's gonna take an amendment to do that. So, I guess I just wanna know kind of what direction we're gonna go with it. Do we wanna keep it as it is? Do we wanna really research and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should change it and allow it? Should we put a moratorium on it for the summer months? Because it's a recreational vehicle or something like that? I'm not sure. I'm not saying I'm asking for a decision. I'm just saying, hey, these are things that we could discuss, because I think we need to hit it early instead of just being reactive to all the complaints, because we're going around, we're seeing the violation, we're notifying them, and we're getting a lot of complaints.
Yep. The monumental change.
Yes,
Um,
this is something almost we could work on all this year to
Right,
hopefully
right.
get for next
Yeah, I don't think
year.
there's any quick resolution to this at all. So, I think to answer your question, well, your comment really, yes, we identified that there is no change. I think aside from Franklin County, we probably need to look at a couple of municipalities, which I have a feeling are gonna be pretty much the same. So then it comes on us as the township to make sure that people are educated in advance. I think more than anything. I think that is us with code that is difficult to find, which we're working on. I think that's us not saying, hey, in the spring when you have trailers out here or whatever else is in front of your property or your grass is, these are the things that you need to look out for. I think that would go a long way just to put us in a position where people aren't surprised and quite as reactionary. Obviously, you're gonna have people that are reactionary because this happened. And generally speaking, people have things in front of their homes for a reason. I wouldn't say that every one of these is sitting out in front of a house all the time, but you also have that scenario as well. So I just think education is part of this, which again, just came off of the, hey, what are the things that come up in the summer? So our next newsletter is the summer. What do you see the most in the summer? What do we see the most in the fall? And then we just make sure that people are not surprised when we say, hey, your trailer's out here. Or, hey, I don't know what else. What's another big common problem? There you go, boats.
And it wouldn't be a one-off, not like a one newsletter thing. This is something we
Right, I think this needs to
just
happen
constantly,
regularly.
yeah.
Find a new topic, find a new code, I mean, I know that it's different for everybody too. You have rural folks who can do things differently than you can do in a neighborhood too, so it's.
So, one of the things I think has been a challenge for us, staff, and you as trustees and prior trustees, is the staffing of this organization did not allow proactive code enforcement. We staffed the organization over the last 18 months, so now we are proactive. So people go, why are you bothering me now? You never did before. And if we're going to have code and we're going to say we want to enforce the code, we're going to be proactive, right? I know you, for one, if we have a code enforcement person, that person should be in the truck every day, going out and make sure the township looks good, doing the things it's supposed to be doing. We had that conversation months ago, and
We
Jeff
had it
does
for
that
2 years.
well, for a while, we only had one person, so that made it even worse, because zoning takes up so much time. What do? So Jeff goes out every morning at 9:30, he's gone for 2 hours, he drives this area, this area, this area. So there are things coming up. We still are complaint-based, if people call, we're gonna follow up. But there is some proactiveness to it, and I just want people to understand, again, we're not turning into that, we're enforcing the policies that were put in place in, 2013. And then, again, Franklin County hasn't changed, and we follow Franklin County.
In the place too, which may have been the
Right.
20.
So, and again, if anybody says that we're not trying to work with them, we are. How can we help? We had a gentleman come in there today, we talked to him, how can we help you? We talked about, hey, could you put it down at the rental place down there? There's a place down there. Could you do gravel? Can't afford concrete, are there ways to do it? And we'll give you time, we just notate cloud permit. So we are, and I've used this word a million times, we give people grace, we have, and we will continue to. And I just want people to know that the Jeffs and Erics, we're just doing what they're charged to do on a regular basis, you know what I mean? So, and look, they're not our people. Those people that have come to compliance weren't because we took them all to court. They just, okay, I get it. Let me figure out, thanks for helping me, let me figure out a way, and they get compliant. So, and some of them are worse, and it goes a different direction, but we're always gonna try and work with people, always do, so.
Yeah, and it goes, a lot what you said, it's just, getting the word out, there's some growing pains, people feel like they got away with something for a decade, and,
So,
they're not.
I hear you about the code compliance, and I think we could probably just say, hey, what's the biggest complaint? I mean, we could just click a box and say, what's the number for this, what's the number for this, and say, here's an order of what the complaints are, and just look out for this. But it goes a lot more than just that code compliance, because there's a lot of zoning violations as well, and we're looking for those when we go out. So we're driving along and we'll see a trailer, and then you say, oh, that person's getting a new driveway. That's nice of them. I wonder if they got a zoning permit for that. And then we have those a lot too. You didn't get a zoning permit. I had no idea to get a zoning permit. There you do. It's all over our website to get the word out. We can put it in our newsletter. I'm just saying there's a lot of things, and then there's a ton of commercial buildings that are not in compliance that we're trying to address as well. So just some of the numbers, it's not just code compliance.
No, I totally
There's tons of
agree.
zoning violations
Yep,
too.
totally agree. But those are the things that, if you've been here for 25 years and you haven't had to put a driveway, you may not think.
Absolutely.
So and it's absolutely the kind of stuff that I would love to see a brief article going over. It's not just code enforcement, but zoning as well.
I think what we'd like the three of you to consider is, are you considering at some point in 2027 or something, changing the text amendment and making it different than Franklin County, or are you not? Or if you are, then do we want to say, well, let's moratorium things for a while until we do that, or whatever, because like you said, it's a monumental effort, it takes a lot, because it's zoning commission and to you and approval, but we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, but we're gonna drive phone calls to you guys. I mean, it's gonna drive emails and phone calls, because that's the nature of the beast, it is.
And I think almost anywhere they go, they're gonna run into the exact same thing. So whether they're in our township, another township, a city, a village,
They're finding people $50 for not painting their mailboxes up north through HOAs. So-
Personally, I have, very little side space, one car driveway, one car garage. I don't wanna see all my neighbors with the same thing, with a trailer in their driveway and a boat and everything else.
These
Yeah,
houses were built when it was a one-car family.
Yeah, absolutely.
I lived here as a kid,
And-
my parents had one car.
And it's unfortunate, when we had an RV for 5 or 6 years, what we would do, because we'd have to park it in front of the house for 2-3 nights while we were just cleaning and getting it ready to go. We would just go around and tell our neighbors, like, hey, we're gonna have it sitting here for a couple days, if it's really bugging you, just let us know, we'll move it, but otherwise, it'll be here for a second. So I get that it's difficult, but, I don't think I wanna live in a neighborhood that has all that stuff sitting around everywhere.
I lean on no, just so you know. I don't think that
Yeah.
I don't think that would do enough to address an issue for us, or whatever, for us to make a large sweeping change. But I do think that, obviously, with the social media pages that it's more education than has happened in a while, but I'm sure that just can continue.
Yep.
I think that's the better way. And the newsletter hits every house. So, I mean, it's, obviously it's up to the person to read it, just like it is for them to respond to the tag, for them to call you when they get the tag. I mean,
I'm all about,
at a certain point, there's
opposed to it, I'm
onus
just saying,
on
there's a
people.
lot going on, that it's just a lot more than just code enforcement.
I
There's so
agree.
many things
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, write about zoning then. That's perfect. Because I think that there are plenty of things that can be addressed in the zoning capacity as well.
How much would it cost us to send out, or to put just a separate sheet in with a newsletter, and all it is zoning and code enforcement?
Stuff for that thing.
Yeah.
No, we would go 2 pages with the way our copiers are set up, so it would just be like, if you're doing 8.5, 11 by 17, it'd be 2 11 by 17. Because if you try to put one piece in, it's gonna be a lot of extra
Okay,
work.
I'm just saying, like, if we went one to go, if you wanna, put in a whole thing that they can keep, that has all the code, or whatever you wanna explain to them in layman's terms, so they're not
Is
just
that
like
fine?
code wording, then, yeah.
And then the next item on my list, which is newsletter advertisements. And we probably need to discuss about what is appropriate, what's allowed, what the cost is gonna be, whether they do a quarter page, a half page, what kind of,
You're gonna have a 20-page newsletter.
see if we get people to
Full
sign up
ads.
for it.
I'll sign up.
Well, if you want we did 1 page last time, right? If you want 2 pages, cut out a few things, put what you're talking about in, go back to a 2-page, and just said the entire 1 page is ads, and when it's full.
Well, I don't think that any of us want just 1 page of ads, but I think that formatting around the ads is fine. I don't know what that pickup would be.
1 page of that would just be way too much.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
should
You
be a
have to format it.
slide out and just dump this page out. So you have to put a little bit of valuable information on any page that you have there.
The last page of the thing.
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like the church bulletin.
Yeah, whatever, I mean, or the Little League football program we used to have as
Yeah.
kids,
Yep.
advertisements or
Fair
whatever,
enough.
something like that. I don't mean putting something in the middle, you're right, it's gone.
So would you wanna get Taylor to do her magic and mock something up, and then we could see, go from there?
What kind of space we have, what kind of response we have, because we have to let people know that we're doing it and what the cost is as well, so.
And look at some other similar things to see
Yeah.
what people are charging.
Little Turtle has one. I just took on a full page there, so I've got
Well,
the
no full
price.
pages, no,
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Because I want to do it.
No, just, I mean, it is a lot of page, and so how big is their,
8.5 by 11.
no, how big is their newsletter?
They're doing digital now. They used to,
Oh, okay.
they used to do print, but now they do digital, but they've got quite a few people in the Turtle area, so.
Yeah.
they get
I
some.
just wondered how they, like, what they actually sent out and how thick that was, if it was
I
kind of.
think when they did it with print, it was maybe 6 pages, so that'd be 3.
It's not too bad.
No, it's 3, and it doesn't cost that much to do with our copier. 3 11 by 7s that are stapled and folded, so,
That's not bad at all.
no, it could be done. It wouldn't cost that much. It's just little ad placement.
The ad placement's fine, we can do all that, we can get logos, we can get people to do it. You guys would have to decide, how much does it cost to put your ad in the newsletter,
Cover
$50,
cost,
$25?
lets them advertise, I mean, I think that's all good stuff. All right,
Postal rates just went up.
of course they did.
A lot. For direct mail too.
If nobody has anything else, Pat, could you speak on, did you end up having the meeting, I completely forgot to ask you today, with the Department of Health about the mosquito fogging? Tomorrow, not today, okay.
I can speak to it real quick about why.
Yeah, absolutely, sure, yeah.
Look at this. Hold on,
Or
I just need you to
can.
see this real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. How did we do that?
Gotta be
That's
kidding me.
great.
It's just
Well,
crazy.
I'll just tell you, so I had reached out to Pat to have him, to talk about reducing the fogging, what were our
Yeah.
tolerance and stuff. So he's reached out to the Department of Health about getting them in here, so it'll be less fogging, more testing. The fogging would be in areas where it actually works and where it's needed. That's the short end of it.
Perfect.
So, we're meeting with them tomorrow. The ask is, we used to use the county to do it years ago before any of us. And then we switched to doing ourselves. We have a machine, we have certifications, we have the chemical and stuff to do it. So they have a program, they'll do it, they put traps out, do testing and so forth. And then what they end up doing, and I'll get all the details tomorrow, so we can look at the cost benefit or what have you. But they end up only spraying where they believe there's a need to spray, right? So if you live over here and the county decides they don't want to spray, but you think they should, you're not gonna get sprayed because the traps don't show that you need it. Where we do everything and take away the people that don't want to be on it. So you've got two balls there, you know, you gotta decide which one's right. It's probably about round figure, about $7,500 to do with the county, but the barrel of chemical we buy is $5,000. So it's probably, doesn't cost us any more to do it, but I'll get all the details tomorrow. We're meeting with them tomorrow. They want us to do it, obviously, you know.
Of course.
But I will caution the trustees that for every person that doesn't want sprayed, there's 5 that do probably. So you're gonna have that. So just put it out there. There's a lot of people that want it.
And you can't stop the fogging in the air. It's gonna, if the wind's blowing, it's gonna go.
Well, I'm just saying, if you do it with the county, if they don't see an issue in Sunbury Woods will never get sprayed, ever. Or I'm just using that as an example. If they don't see an issue in the traps that they put there, they'll never spray there. I know that there will be people not like that too, so I think the analysis will have to be for you guys to decide.
Or fix up that swampland in the middle, right?
Right. So that meeting is tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'll give you an update after we have that meeting.
Here. Did I use up all yours? Did
No.
we went through your
Well,
list?
the only other
between
thing
the
I
two
had
of us?
were street trees. Do you have anything on street trees?
I
We'll
don't
move that
right
to later.
now. Okay.
All right.
Joanne, nothing? We're all good? All right.
I have
Oh,
more
you got
stuff.
more? All right, you have 7 minutes. Yeah.
International Property Maintenance Code.
Yep.
Our resolution refers to the 2009, that's what we adopted, approved. I think under home rule, we could update that to include the 2024, that's the most recent. It happens every 3 years, so 2027 is gonna be the next time it comes out. There's not huge changes in it, but I just think to make it more in line when you're reading it, and you guys are going back to 2009. There really hasn't been that many changes in it, but still, I think it'd be nice to reference 2024
I agree.
than
Yes.
2009.
Let's do it.
Cool. Zoning, amendments. So just, they've been very busy. It started out with just kind of one topic and then it's kind of expanded onto that. But we're currently working on the short-term rentals. And, there was a draft submitted, last night in our zoning commission meeting. I encourage you to please review that online, it's very nice. It was a good meeting. There were some suggestions made in it, those changes will be made. And hopefully we can get that finalized at our next meeting, to be prepared to move forward. In addition to that, we have political signs, we're gonna eliminate that from, our zoning resolution, because statute says you can't do that. So we'll just wipe that out of our amendments, that'll be forthcoming. As well as, BZA extensions. So currently, if somebody wants to extend, a conditional use or a variance, they send me a letter, and then I go to the board and say, hey, guys, we need I need you to say, can we extend this another 12 months? It's just basically a rubber stamp. I mean, it's really, there's no new hearing or anything. So, the proposal is to allow me the authority, one time only, first extension, to extend that for the 12-month period. Anything after that, or any modifications, of course, will go back to the BZA.
Is the time period at your discretion as well, or just,
I'm sorry, what's that?
is the time period at your discretion as well, or is it just always 12 months?
It's not always 12 months, but up to 12 months.
Okay, I see.
First time.
So you
One time.
allow a one-time extension?
Correct. And then I would just notify them, hey, by the way, remember that conditional use or variance we did? They asked for an extension, I updated that. Okay,
Sweet.
cool, thanks, and then we're done.
You need a real rubber stamp.
Yeah. So just do that, that way I don't have to go through that, but that will have to be an amendment to say we're gonna move forward.
Okay.
And then, we have a rezoning coming up, so their zoning commission's gonna be busy next meeting. It is, great. I made it under 7 minutes too, that's
Good
not
job.
bad.
All right, everybody has time to run to the restroom?
Yep.
All right, I think it's time to do this. The Linden Township Board of Trustee regular work session meeting is adjourned, or I move to adjourn the Linden Township Board of Trustee regular work session meeting at 6:26 PM. Call for the vote?
Trustee Atkins.
Yes.
Trustee Siamaka.
Yes.
Trustee Noble?
Yes. Motion
For
passed.
the audience, video will be on mute for the next 3 minutes until we start the regular meeting.
Okay. The Linden Township Board of Trustees' regular trustee meeting is called to order at 6:31 p.m. You may remain seated for a moment of reflection or stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Luann, can we have a roll call, please? Atkins?
Here.
Zobel? Here. Simoco?
Present.
A quick introduction of everybody seated up here. We have Police Chief John Belford, our Fiscal Officer Joanne Burry, Trustee Tim Atkins, myself, Trustee April Zobel, Trustee Delina Simoco, our Service Director Matt Newman, and Township Administrator Pat Myers. At this time, if anybody would like to step up to the podium for public comment, you have about 5 minutes to speak. Please state your name, address if you like, and do speak into the mic so those who might be watching and listening at home have the best chance of hearing you clearly.
Oh, wait, let's turn it on. Yep.
Thank you. My name is Pat Hanlon. I live 5474 Purple Finch Court in Sunbury Woods. In my lifetime, I've seen many presidents and many popes. I've seen a lot of wars and a lot of protests. I've seen numerous assassinations and attempted assassinations. I've seen our country grieving because of horrendous events and celebrating because of heroic events. I've also seen a lot of township trustees and fiscal officers come and go. But I never thought I would ever see the day when an elected public official taking the oath of office would refuse to raise the right hand or refuse to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag or refuse to stand for our national anthem. Instead, because of your forced patriotism beliefs, you decide to sit for a moment of reflection. If you wish to continue this nonsense, I have a suggestion. Why not designate a room in this building as a chapel or a room of reflection? That way, while the rest of us are professing our allegiance to our country, you can retire to that room and return when our tribute is complete. That way you're not embarrassing yourself, all the folks at the head table, or Glen Township. I offer you a challenge to all you forced patriotism folk. Go to the VA Medical Center down North James Road. Walk back to the area where the veterans gather to eat and we'll share war stories. Then stand up in front of these veterans and proclaim your forced patriotism beliefs and see what happens. You might say the U.S. Armed Forces veterans supported your candidacy. But my guess is that if you had told them about your non-patriotic beliefs, they'd most likely close the door on you. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
Now I'm shaking. Step Code 5816 La Paz, since we're on the subject of the flag, that was not the correct format or the time. If you have an issue one-on-one with a trustee, you talk to the trustee off to the side. Please do not lump every veteran, okay, into the whole flag issue, because I did 21 years.
Just make sure you address us. Thank you, but
Sorry.
make sure you
I
address
did
us.
21 years. Everyone, I did that for the freedom of speech. You not standing for the flag is a form of freedom of speech. I can tell you that I do not agree with it, but I respect it. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna speak up. What you do or do not do when you look at that flag has absolutely nothing to do with your ability to lead. not one of you. Has nothing to do with you, whether or not you believe in our country. I know a lot of people that look at that flag and swear by it. I know a lot of people that swear to God and the Bible. Don't make them right people, don't make them good people. So April, I'm sorry you just got attacked, but enough is enough. Not all veterans think that. Not all of us. Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments tonight? All right, seeing that there's nobody else, we are going to move on to trustee comment. Delina, do you have anything for us?
No.
Okay. Tim?
I'm just going to point out a couple of things. This is National Work Zone Awareness Week. Unfortunately, in a work zone just north of us, there was an incident where a few people lost their lives, 2 adults and a child. That was horrific and was not a worker in a work zone, but just the awareness of the fact that the work zone is there. Semi-truck moving at 70 miles an hour in a work zone. Obviously a terrible incident, but just, I work for a public utility. I have to take a training course every single year, and there's always a news story that kind of gets peppered in about an incident with one of our employees or contractors that something has gone awry. So pay attention out there for work zone areas, whether they're temporary or long-term. It's important and definitely impacts more than just kind of the person at the side of the road or you. Today happens to be Earth Day, so I was going to throw out a couple of things, but I'll start with this. Like the Senate actually passed a resolution recently, designating April 2026 as National Native Plant Month. So they kind of caught up to Ohio, who was the first to introduce a law back in 2019, I think, that designated April as such. We're home to 2,000 native plant species of the 17,000 across the country. And we've lost about 200 native plant species since the 19th century. So just a couple of things. Natives are great. We talked about this earlier in the work session. They help secure the soil. They take up more water than your grass and your ornamental plantings. It's good for bees and birds and all sorts of other things as well. And then community backyards started up just last week for unincorporated Blendon Township residents. You can log into communitybackyards.org and sign in online, take a quick class. I think it only takes about 20 minutes to go through. And you are awarded for your efforts and the completion of the quiz with one of the following: a $50 rain barrel rebate, $50 rebate, or some native plant nurseries will just take it outright, of perennial shrubs, plants, trees. So if you were looking for trees, you get a discount for a SWACO approved compost bin, so just one that keeps out rodents and other things. And then there's the opportunity for a $250 rebate for a rain garden as well, which April has taken part of in the past. That's all I have.
Okay. On compost bin, is that new? I don't remember that.
No.
I don't remember.
So there are
seeing
2
it.
options for the compost bin. There's either a $50 rebate on a tumbler,
Okay.
or you can get one for $30 from SWACO. It's a $70 rebate. So those usually retail for $100. So they give you a $70 rebate, so you pay $30. But
Thank you.
they're good size too. They're
Yeah.
chonky.
All right, thank you. Moving on, I do have a couple things here. The first one is going to be regarding transient vendor license. And you have in your notebook the current resolution for this, resolution number 10-04. And if you flip through a few pages at the end of it, and this was emailed to both of you as well, the language that I am proposing that would be added to amend this resolution. This resolution was originally passed in 2010, and as it states right now, the license fee for a transient vendor is $50. In 2017, the ORC was amended to allow that to go up to $150, so I'd like to see our resolution go with that, higher fee for that. And also, when the ORC was amended in 2017, it also authorized the no solicitation or do not knock list, which is something else I'd like to see happening in the township. And what that would mean for you as residents is you don't necessarily have to have a sign on your door, in your yard, whatever, that says no solicitation. We would keep that list for vendors, and when they apply for that transient vendor license, they would have to review that list and agree not to knock on your doors. If they did so, they could be subject to not being allowed to come back into Glendon Township as a transient vendor again. And I know most of us do not love it when you're having somebody knock on your door. So this is something that would definitely benefit most, if not all, of the residents. So based on that information at this time, I move to adopt a resolution amending resolution number 10-04, establishing the regulation and registration of transient vendors to increase the transient vendor registration fee from $50 to $150, and to establish a do not solicit registry for residents who wish to prohibit door-to-door solicitation at their residence.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel? Yes. Simoco?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Trustee Zobel, just send me that language, final language, I'll attach it and give it a resolution number. It'll just be an amendment to the
Okay.
2010 report.
All right, thank you.
Actually,
Administrator Meyer, we're gonna need an effective date on that. So this could be a price one day and then a different price the next day, so we just need to know what
I'd say May 1st would be fair.
date is looking for.
Okay.
Would you have to re-motion?
Yes, you can include it in the language. The motion was we're gonna create the, have and raise the rate. I think the effective date is fine. Just
Okay.
choose it.
So in the language, it's at May 1st as the effective date. Okay.
are we gonna supply that list so they can have that, or is it just review the list? That feels a little,
So what they would have to do now until the website is updated is simply email pmyers@londonTWP.org, and you said you could keep that spreadsheet and then just
If they email,
give that to them.
if the residents email it, we'll start the sheet. And then it can be,
Yeah, not just
it can
glance
be,
at, yeah.
yeah, okay.
we can have a link to it on our website. Just tell the transient vendor, it's your responsibility to go to that link and pull that down yourself. You know? Or we could, if it's not 500 pages, a couple pages, we could turn around and give it to them.
And once this is passed and we have everything in place that you can email, we'll make sure to get that on the website and on the social media pages and everything, so people can start emailing and getting on that list. I have one more thing. With the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, we did get several people who applied for that. Thank you very much for that. I'm excited to get that started. I'm excited to get the word out about it and get more and more people going with it as well. And based on the people who have applied so far at this point, I would move to appoint the following applicants to the Neighborhood Advisory Committee in accordance with the adopted guidelines without formal interviews at this time, with each member being appointed to the term length they selected in their application. Andy Lugar, 2 years. Carl Hunlock, 1 year. Joseph Marshall, 3 years. Pam Clegg, 3 years. Carrie Kalmbaugh, 1 year. Chris Stevko, 2 years. Tony Baker, 3 years. And Paul Koval, 2 years. Do I have a second?
You have a second?
Any discussion?
Thank you for volunteering for that.
Call for the vote. Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel? Yes. Simoco?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. We will get this formalized right away and get some meetings going and go from there and see what we can get done together. And that is all I have as far as trustee comment at this point. We can move on over to you, Joanne.
Did you have a chance to review the regular meeting minutes from April?
Yes.
I will move to approve meeting minutes from April 8th as presented.
I'll second. We have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for April 8th, and we have a second. Do we have any discussion?
No discussion.
Call for the vote.
I'm sorry, you were repeating the thing. I thought you were going on.
Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel?
Yes.
Simoco?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
And then have you had a chance to review the purchase orders?
Yes.
And I'll move to approve the following purchase orders as presented.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve presented. We have a second. Is there any discussion? Call for the vote.
Hackett? Zobel?
Yes.
Semaco?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to review the bills?
Yes.
I'll move to pay the bills as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion to pay the bills as presented. We have a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel?
Yes.
Semaco?
Yes.
And then have you had a chance to review the March bank reconciliation?
Yes. I'll move to approve the bank reconciliation as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No.
Call for the vote.
Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel?
Yes.
Semaco?
Yes.
That is all I have.
Pat?
Yes, so a few things. First, talk about the website information. We are currently with Granicus. I was able to negotiate a 6-month renewal on that without penalty. So we typically pay just under $6,400 for them to take care of the website, provide maintenance to the website, and so forth. We met with STG based on the OTA recommendation. So what we're going to do, and you guys already gave consensus on this prior, so I'm looking to move forward with this. We will renew for 6 months next week with Granicus, as well as a 6-month renewal. We will move to STG, which is a $3,400 one-time upfront fee. So we're gonna spend about $6,500 this year for both, which would have been the same as Granicus. Going forward, the next year, STG is $1,750. It's $1,075 a year to host and 12 hours of free maintenance and so forth. So our overall cost will go down $5,400 after year one, and we're only gonna spend about $200 more in year two, 200 this year. So it's a good deal. They've done great work. Taylor and I met with them twice. We looked at different websites, and Tim met with them, saw what they've done. Very intuitive, very easy, friendly to get to the things that people are wanting to get to on the website. With buttons that we'll all decide on. We'll create it with them, and we'll send it to you guys for feedback. I like this better here, I like this better here. We'll ask staff to look at it, and maybe even send out the mock to the NAC and see what those people think about it for resident input. Once we get to about month 5 of Granicus, we'll be able to bring the other website up, so we will, the website will take them to the new website, but that other website will be out there for, in case we need it. So we'll run parallel for 30 days, and so we won't lose any information. We're gonna convert everything over, so it's really a great deal for us, I think, and we've got some good references from different townships that have loved it. So I think it's gonna be great, it'll save us a lot of money. $5,000 a year, I mean, we'll take it. So just want to give an update on that. The next thing I'd like to do is we'd like to replace the senior center administrative assistant position. Val and I spoke to several people. Super excited about a young lady by the name of Glenda Mahaley. So I would ask for a motion to hire her with a tentative start date of May 6th. Could be early, depending on her current employment, but I'll work with her and Val on that. So,
I'll move to approve hiring Glenda Mahaley, effective date May 6th, potentially.
All right, we have a motion to approve hiring Glenda Mahaley. We have a second. Any discussion?
No.
Call for the vote.
Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel?
Yes.
Semaco?
Yes.
and I'm a fan of people that showing up when they think they might get hired, so we'll wait for them and say hi. So, she's in the house tonight. So. Thanks for coming. Welcome. to the
Welcome.
Welcome. I loved your cover letter.
Next, I'm asking for a motion to approve the PEP policy. Last time we had the order policy, we've updated it, made a couple changes. You've all had a chance to look at that, so I'd ask for a motion to approve the new PEP policy.
I will move to approve a township pet policy as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a little bit on the pet policy because I enacted one twice in my professional life. And I also looked at the Franklin County policy as it comes to pet. And first of all, I'm a pet lover. I've had pets my whole life. I still have pets. I'll always have pets. Franklin County's policy says Franklin County buildings generally prohibit animals on grounds except for service or assist animals. Service animals must be allowed in public areas of government buildings, but pets are typically excluded. In addition, dogs in Ohio must be kept on a leash no longer than 6 feet in public places. My only concerns with this would be my own personal experience, so I want to throw this out there. Insurance and liability, have we talked to legal?
The legal has no problem with with dogs being on the site as long as they're leashed, taken care of, if that's, you're fine with that.
And then what about limiting the type and breed? Because can I bring a horse in? Can I bring a mini pig in? These are things that, like I had a mini pig at my office, which was mine, and had dogs in the office, and one of the dogs attacked the pig. So I'm worried about, not my dog, one of my employees' dogs. And one of my employees' dogs attacked a person walking in. So, I mean, these are things that I've experienced firsthand that I worry about. And again, I was pet friendly when I owned my Remax franchise, and we had problems there. And then I tried it again when I moved into the farm location, and we have problems there. The other thing I noticed was lack of productivity, because my dog or their dogs would start barking or have to go out, and they would just immediately run out after them. What happens if someone gets bit? I know here in the senior center, somebody got bit or attacked at one point. Didn't that happen a few years ago?
Even before my time.
Yeah,
They
I
had
think-
someone afraid of it.
No, they would not be allowed in the senior center during senior center hours. That's in the policy.
I did see that.
Yes.
I did see that. But what happens if, and I'm playing devil's advocate, because again, I love animals. I'd have them everywhere if I could, but I've just seen this happen. What happens if somebody walks into the administrative building and somebody's dog is running around in there, and sometimes dogs get a feeling about people and they attack? What would happen if?
That person, the owner of the dog, would be liable for that.
But it's on township grounds.
Yes.
And
And it would still be.
Township.
You can sue anybody.
You have to have, you have to have a clause in there saying that your employee, see, we didn't get to read the pet policy, so I'm just kind of grasping at straws. But typically, if you're gonna do a pet policy, then the employee, the person who's bringing their dog must hold separate liability insurance, must bring shot records, must prove that the animal is free
No
of
shots current.
fleas and parasites. It's more than just saying, we're gonna let dogs.
That was something I was gonna suggest, licensed and, annual license and shots have to be current.
There's a huge, huge issue with liability.
And if the animal has behavioral issues, what happens then? These are all things that I personally have experienced. So I just wanted to throw it out there because it's probably more on a township level than it is me as a business person, but it exists no matter what. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew this and you guys knew this.
Yeah. I allow pets at my business, I always have, and yeah, there's some, there hasn't really been any issues. This is, something I'm still willing to move forward with.
Excuse me. I was comfortable with the language. With this being on the owner of the animal, now, bringing in mini pigs and horses make maybe that.
But that
how-
doesn't exclude
How
it.
do we really define?
Or snakes, or birds.
Breeds,
or-
I can't really,
Or vicious breeds. There are some insurance companies that will not insure
there
pit bulls, Doberman pinchers.
are some issues with,
There's definitely some very
breeds.
ignorant policies out
Yeah.
there like that. Yeah.
but.
But they're there.
Yeah, they are there. So what does happen if we, I mean, that's not necessarily, I mean, it is on township property. So do we just need to set the definition more strictly? What is the?
Size and type of animal.
No. Size and type is whatever, a Dane, I mean, the ankle biter dogs are sometimes the worst,
They are
and most
golden
aggressive.
retrievers and chihuahuas.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think you can limit it in that capacity, but I mean, if it's an overall pet policy, it does mean that it's an overall pet policy. I have no fear of snakes or pigs or horses or anything else, but if someone wants to get wily, I think we should at least maybe
If I may,
have
what is the purpose of all this?
what the
I
discussion.
mean, it's kind of hard to hear you guys all the way back here.
You can move up to the front if you'd like.
What is the purpose of this pet policy?
We're amending basically the old one that said that dogs were not allowed in the building.
All right.
Yes.
That's all.
That's it.
Maybe it would help if you read because it sounds like they have not seen the policy that you're.
Yeah. Where did I shove mine? Linden Township pet policy that we are discussing right now to ensure a safe, healthy, and welcoming environment for all members, guests, and staff, the following pet policy is in effect. General rule, dogs are permitted on township-owned properties, provided they always remain under the control of their owner or handler, and that the owner or handler is responsible for the immediate removal and proper disposal of waste. Dogs shall not be permitted inside the senior center during open center hours. Behavior standards. You may be asked to remove your dog from the premises if it is out of control and the handler does not take effective action to control it, or it is not housebroken. Liability. Owners/handlers are fully responsible for any damage or injury caused by their animals. So to me, this takes care of it because it is specifically saying dogs.
But what about people who have cats that they want to bring in?
Well, it doesn't look like they can.
Or my
Yeah.
pig, or my horse, or,
Yeah, I
It
think
does-
we're
it does
just focusing
isolate
on
dogs.
It does.
Who's gonna enforce this?
Whoever's in the staff building at the time.
Staff?
Mhm.
so dogs would be the only animal permitted?
According to this, yes. I'm totally okay with that. All right, so at this time, are we ready to move forward with this, or do we want to table
We're
discussion?
going to table it and just kind of evaluate.
I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with tabling for now.
All right, let's table this and move on. We can reevaluate at the next meeting. All right, Pat, back to you.
Yeah, so I just have one more thing. So, today is April 22nd, and today will be the day that the newest opt-out letters will be going out for SOPEC, for the electric, so with the new rates and so forth. So people are, if they're not already on a program, they're going to get a letter from SOPEC saying that they're opted in, they have an opportunity to opt out. So when you get this letter, if you do not want to be part of the SOPEC program, you simply call the phone number listed, tell them you don't want to be in the program, and you're not in the program.
I'm sorry, I don't think I heard you correctly. They're opting us in again?
It's an opt-in program, right?
So this is
It's
the
yearly.
time when I have to opt out.
Because it's a new rate period.
This is harassment at this point.
Yearly.
Then just call and opt out. We don't have to worry about getting the letters anymore. I mean, a lot of people like it because it's actually lower than the AP rate right now for the next 2 months. So, according to the pricing that's out there today, so this opt-in does save money. So if you don't want to be part of it, just simply call that phone number and opt out. And you don't have to ever worry about another letter ever again.
Ever?
If you opt out, you will.
I've opted out
I
twice.
will say that I already had,
I'll take care of it. I'll call and take care of it.
I had a choice supplier already before this started with SOPEC. I did not receive a notification about opting, so it does withdraw you from their notification list.
I've spoken to dozens and dozens of residents about this, and 99% of them are saying if they were, why didn't I get a letter? I said, did you look at your bill? Are you on a program? Yes. That's why you didn't get a letter, because they're not going to mail to you if you don't have a letter. Have you opted out? Yes. Now, you're going to get new letters when the new rate season opens up, because they're giving you the option, again, to stay in it, because it's a new rate season. So that's what's happening now. Those letters will start today. So I just want to let everybody know, and we'll put a board about on social media about it as well.
I haven't talked about this for a few weeks, probably a couple months even, but you're more than happy, or more than welcome to email me, tatkins@blendentwp.org. I will absolutely do my best to walk you through kind of how to filter your results the best way, so that, you know, I look at this, I don't want any early termination fees, I don't want any sign-up fees, I don't want any monthly recurring fees, I want just the best price, and for whatever term I decide. More than happy to walk people through that. I've had dozens reach out in the past, I'll continue to do it. You can at least see if there's a lower rate out there, if you don't want to get letters.
And is that it?
That's it.
Good. And then the last thing is, based on Trustee Siamaka's initiative last year, we've been working with Franklin County to come out, do some cleanup. We had them out again last week. They went to Cleveland Heights between, coming out at Clybourne and down past Golden Phoenix, and then down. Huh?
Ada?
Ada. The alley behind, and all the roads going this way, and the truck, and about 8 people working, cleaning up trash, picking up trash, removing stuff. They did a great job. Eric and I drove down just to check on it, to make sure that they were there, first of all, and they were great job. Talked to the girl that runs the thing, she said, keep in touch with her, is that area.
It looks so much better.
It just looks better, so. And then as far as the township's concerned, the common area of Brazzaville, we received a notification today from the shopping center owner, they'll be out hopefully before the end of this week to clean that area up again. So they try and stay on, it's a little tough, and we're working on some other things for that. But I just wanted to give you an update on cleanup. Unless you have anything for me, that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Matt?
Yeah, Friday starts our community spring cleanup. We'll have 5 dumpsters out back of our service department Friday from 7 to 3. Saturday, 8 to 5. 10 to 2 is our shredded event. We will have drug league back in the front parking lot. And Sunday, 8 to 5 as well. And you're welcome to bring tires, scrap metal, anything you want to get rid of, except for chemicals. Take it.
Awesome, perfect thing for Earth Month.
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Chief?
I'd like to join with Trustee Adkins in his caution to drivers in construction zones and work zones on the highways. I'd like to add to that a caution for everyone that since 2019, the sales of e-bikes, electric bikes, has quadrupled since 2019. 63% of all new bicycle sales now are e-bikes. Juvenile ER visits for bike crashes have tripled. These bikes go 20 to 28 miles per hour, and we are seeing a lot more of them as weather warms up in the residential areas. As long as it's under 750 watts and has 2 working pedals, it doesn't need to be licensed, and operators do not have to have a driver's license. Very popular, not only with kids, but with adults. So please be very cautious, be on the lookout, and understand that these e-bikes must follow all the same rules of the road as bicycles. So that direction of travel, stopping at stop sign is required. And the police officers will be bringing some of these e-bike rider juveniles home to the parents when they're violating or advising the parents. Sometimes we're having quite a bit of issues. So far, all of our juvenile riders have been polite and cooperative and susceptible to and receptive to being educated on the rules of the road. The ones we have that have not stopped for lights and sirens have all turned out to have earbuds in and been blasting their music. So we haven't had them fleeing from us, although it might have seemed like that if you were watching sometimes. But everyone needs to realize that with these injuries tripling, if the police department does not enforce these rules of the road, we stand a very high probability of having a tragic crash with one of these e-bikes. We want to make sure that doesn't happen this summer or at all, and definitely not in those residential areas. So that is my caution on e-bikes, and more to follow, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Trustee Zobel, fire department's not here. I was just gonna give you guys an update, everybody an update. There is an interim fire chief, his name is Josh Lester. There's a meet and greet I'll be attending on Friday to meet Josh. He and I are supposed to also have just a quick time to talk with just the 2 of us, so I can inform him that, we'd like to have him here at the meeting and so forth, give him the schedule and so forth. But his name is John Lester, and he takes. Josh Lester, and he takes the place of Chief Miller. But I'll meet him Friday and going forward.
For now, right?
Yeah.
You said interim?
I heard they're back in Mount Vernon, and now they called an intern in the announcement, so I'll find out Friday.
All right, thanks for that. All right, at this point, we're gonna open it back up for public comment. You have about 3 minutes now if you'd like to speak again, and we do just ask that you keep any comments that you might make now in regards to the topics that we have discussed tonight. Is there anybody who would like to step up? Come on up.
That's James Welch. Chief, you talked about e-bikes. We've seen a lot in my neighborhood with motorized bikes also riding on the sidewalks that follow the same rules that you're going to enforce on that too.
Yeah, if they're not classified as the e-bikes, if they're
It's motorized gas
yeah,
leak.
classified as mopeds or motorcycles, then yeah, they're not allowed to be on the sidewalks.
On the sidewalks. So they'll be enforced the same way.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
We just call the same number then.
Yes, and the e-bikes are allowed in bike lanes, on bike trails, wherever bicycles are permitted, the e-bikes are permitted, in the state of Ohio, but not the motorized bikes. Thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Chris?
I'm not sure yet. So I can't ask any questions from previous meetings that I need to.
Right, we did say that at the end
I
of
can't
our
or
public
cannot.
comment, this is just
Can not.
over things that we've discussed at this meeting tonight.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, just a couple of quick announcements. The next regular trustee work session will be on Wednesday, May 20th at 5:30 p.m. The next regular trustee meeting will be on Wednesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. This is a month away. If y'all remember, anybody who was here before, we did change up the meetings a little bit. So we'll be doing this on a monthly basis. That gives us time on those other Wednesdays to do other things, like the NAC meetings, coffee with the trustee, things like that. And at this time, we are going to be heading into executive session. So I move to enter into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G1, for the purpose of considering the compensation of public employees.
I'll second.
We actually don't have to say it for the move in. Yeah. All right, we have a second. Do we have any discussion? Call for the vote?
Atkins?
Yes.
Zobel?
Yes.
Seymour?
Yes.
All right, we'll be moving into executive session.
This time, the trustees are in executive session, I will be reading.
session at 7:49 PM. No formal action was taken during executive session. I move to adjourn the regular trustee meeting at 7:49 PM.
I second.
All right, we have a second. Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Atkins?
Yes.
Zilble?
Yes.
Piedmont?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank